Welcome back, friends. When I was making my video for the last weekend, I had mentioned that the US election results which will come out will be different from what most people anticipate. I mentioned that perfection which people feel will be there and people will be quite surprised. It will be quite different from what most people anticipate. Now, there was a great following for Harris, and if you look at the pollsters, they were showing Harris in the lead. Of course, there were different polls with different outcomes, but generally, this was the trend. There was a high rate of endorsements for Harris. And not only that, there were a lot of people who, economists, top economists, all were saying that they would like to endorse Harris rather than Trump. So it was really the scenario was built that Harris would come back as the president rather than Donald Trump. But I clearly mentioned that the outcome will be one which will surprise people, not what people have anticipated. And this is what you have seen. But you've seen Dow Jones cross 60,000, the S&P 500 cross 6,000, and everything has been on a great uphill trend. So what's the issue is that people are generally believe that Donald Trump is one of the people who can stop these wars, that he can bring the inflation down, he can control the immigration disaster in many ways. Too many people entering without official approval. So that is one thing which the popular vote seemed to be suggesting could happen to the United States. However, what is good necessarily for the US of A may not necessarily be good for the rest of the world. So therefore, you're seeing that many parts of the world, stock markets not doing so well. India started on a very good note with the Trump victory. That's probably because of the Trump-Modi friendship. But as we went forward, we saw the markets again sulking. And Fridays was quite a bit. So for the Friday's morning session, I had indicated a negative trend, and afternoon I had mentioned a mixed volatile trend. Now, on the whole, the markets have been sulking after Donald Trump coming to power. You must have seen that the emerging market currencies have been falling over the last few days. In fact, India's currency has fallen the least. What is happening is that with Donald Trump coming back, there's an expectation that there will be an increase in the fiscal policies, expansionary policies, and with that type of a momentum, the US dollar will strengthen further. Once that strengthens, you find that the interest rates also going up with all this fiscal expansion that may take place. When the dollar goes up, you find that emerging market currencies and other currencies of the world may come down. And that is probably what has led to an increased spell of FII selling over 19,000 crores so far in the month of November. Totally, I believe about 130,000 crores gone in the last 30 days or so. So that has exacerbated the selling in India, other than, I think, the big amount of money which was sucked out by huge IPOs such as the Swiggy, the Hyundai. That also was a factor. Many people should realize that whenever such big IPOs come out, they normally come out. After that, there is some selling that takes place. Now, what is the plan forward? What is the game from here? See, Donald Trump has 2 months before he takes over as the president, but I believe he's already up to the job. You must have seen already the White House chief of staff has been appointed, but there could be many announcements that may come from the Trump administration from time to time, which can roil the markets. Like the tariffs he's talking about can just start happening. The noises can start getting louder, because he has to get back to his work quickly, and he also has his 4 years for his to leave a good mark on his legacy. So all these things will come into play as is. So I would say that there will be hands of friendship also. He may extend from time to time, which can take the markets nicely higher. But these noises, the tariffs and all, which probably, you people are not realizing that he is anti-green energy. So many people, you look at every second company is now in the solar space in India. Just look. He calls it a green energy scam. Not willing to encourage. In fact, he's thinking of cutting off from the Paris Climate Accord. So when this type of environment comes where the green energy receives lackluster treatment at the hands of the Trump administration, you will find that people find it very, very difficult to tolerate. There are many of the solar panel companies in India. Some of them just listed, some of them about to be listed, green energies. Because if they are only catering to India, that's fine. But if they're catering also to the United States, then that's a very big problem, because the modules come from China and then, the panels go out. So America is not very keen to have much to do with China. So all these things will have an impact, right? Solar companies have been doing exceptionally well on the Indian stock market. That may receive a beating. So I think that be careful from here. The markets will see some good spaces of green. Also, what you saw only down over the last few days, I don't think that will continue. There will be some good rebound periods that you may see during this week. But time to time, the markets may take a good hit. Now, if you're telling me that, I'm not trying to talk both ways. I'm trying to say that the mixed nature of the market will prevail many times in this particular forthcoming week, because of the nature of the electoral issues that dominate the US landscape at this point of time. Also, don't forget that Maharashtra goes into election mode shortly, and it's voting on the November 20, and that is a very, very crucial state. And now that the US elections are over and the Fed decision is also over, Jeremy Powell saying that he will continue no matter what Trump says, I think the focus will shift on Maharashtra and the outcome of the polls on November 23. We'll be covering all this. Do join our Premium Plus, which gives you 10 to 12 days predictions in advance. And of course, if you just need a 1 week prediction, then Premium Value is a very good package. For both, you can WhatsApp us on 9820861044. We'll tell you what we believe is the road forward for the Indian stock markets from here. Happy investing, and Jai Shri Ram to you all.